Hello, 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 hello. It's another edition of Travel the World as a Speaker. I am your host, Phylecia Jones, and I'm coming to you live here on Instagram and on the YouTube. And today we're going to talk about cloud versus thumb drive. Yes, and I have a prop. Today. There's the prop. Y'all remember what these look like? I mean, this is probably old school. Am I aging myself? Do people even use these anymore? But we're going to talk about this little thing right here. We're going to talk about this little thing today because we're going to talk about just backup tech for speakers. Because when we're out there on the road, sometimes we don't have backups for what we're doing. And as somebody who has booked speakers, I've been a speaker coordinator, I have seen the meltdowns when people are not prepared with a backup for the backup for the backup. So we're going to talk about that today. Of course, we're going to combine the two things I love, and that is talking about travel and talking about speaking and how you can leverage speaking so that you can travel. And if you haven't noticed, the world is kind of getting back to as before. Yeah, I don't really say normal because normal is a little weird. So it's getting back to as before, which means live events, speaking gigs, they're all coming back in full force. So hopefully you are getting prepared to get out there so that you can get on stage. And so we're going to talk about that. And I always have to bring you a travel story. So I got a good one today. We're going to do RV week. I don't know. It's RV week. So we're going to talk about the RV this week. And of course, this show is brought to you by iFind You Clothes, where we actually go out and find speaking opportunities for you. Hey, love, Sherry Amore. How are you doing? I know, I had to take a break. I've learned to give myself some patience and self-care. Is that my bad heart? And it's still like snowing here, so that's why I'm still wearing flannel. Hopefully in a few weeks I can put on like a sundress or something. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about that. And of course, yes, if you haven't checked out iFind You Clothes, go to ifindyouclothes.com. We put out new speaking opportunities every Monday. So yesterday we just loaded up with events that are looking for speakers around leadership, diversity and inclusion, career development, entrepreneurship, marketing, and tech. Definitely for my techies. We got you covered. So go check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this travel story for the day. My ear is itching. Yeah, I got spring hair. Yay! Whenever spring arrives. Okay, the travel story today. So we're just gonna keep talking about the RV. I figure we'd just talk about the RV because most people don't know I'm an RV owner, and if you follow me on my personal account, I've been talking about the RV. I talked about it in one of my posts of like, it's been fun being able to take the speaking gigs on the road with me when I'm on the road in the RV, but it's been hard trying to find some spots because everybody last year decided to become a camper and decided to become an RVer. So here's one of the things that you have to know about RVing. It looks like fun. It really is. And it is fun. It can be pricey. I'm not going to lie, unless you get something a little older. But if you want the cushy, nice stuff, you're going to have to spend some money. But one of the things when you're looking into RV life, and I have loved it because my husband and I, we can work on the road and it's pretty cool. Bandwidth will always be an issue. You have to always find a place where you have good mobile coverage, Wi-Fi coverage. This is still, you gotta remember, just FYI, RV life is still for like the, octogenarians, septuagenarians. Is that a nicer way to say it? It's a huge generation gap. So they don't need the internet as much, and they don't play as much as like us internet hogs. So some of these RV parks, the internet is a little skeptical. So you're going to have to use your cell phone a lot. Hey Harris, Crystal Harris, how you doing? We're talking about RV life before we jump into speaking, because I do a lot of speaking from the RV. And technology is it's not necessarily technology, it's always bandwidth, cell phone coverage, always a challenge, because sometimes the Wi-Fi is just crappy. And yes, the nicer the place you go to, the less Wi-Fi you have. I don't know why they haven't updated their stuff. I don't know, because maybe there's a generational gap of people who don't use the internet, and then like the rest of us who like live and die by the internet. So hopefully after last year, a lot of the RV parks got a clue. They got a clue, and maybe we'll do a lot more for their internet, but don't. Just don't. So that's why, I want to start talking about tech for speakers, especially if we're going to be traveling the world or we're going to be doing presentations while we're on the road. So you got to understand this tech. But what I'm going to talk about today, so hopefully that was a cool RV story. So I'll talk more about the RV this week. But yeah, just remember, you have to have a really good cell phone plan and all these little hacks so that you can get good Wi-Fi coverage. But I want to talk about speaking live today. For those of you who are going to start hitting the stage, hitting the road, doing live events, they are coming back. They're not in abundance, but they're coming back. And by fall, there will be quite a few. So like I said, go check out iFindUclothes.com if you want to get, a fresh crop of speaking opportunities. You want to go check us out. It's $19.99 a month. So, no contract, just go in, get a whole bunch of gigs and invite us all. All right, so we're going to talk about tech and this little thing right here. Do y'all remember what this is? Is this aging me? It's like 3D effect. 3D effect. It is a thumb drive. So we're going to talk about old school thumb drives. I know, it's like up there right with CDs and VHS tapes. So we're going to talk about old school thumb drives and the cloud, and why you need both when you are speaking live. Now, I spent 4.5 years booking speakers. I was the speaker liaison when I went to, when people came to our events. So I took care of the speakers and all the things that were going on. And I have seen many a breakdown of people who were not prepared with backups of their presentations, backups of their photos, backups of their videos, just backups of the backups of the backups, even their introductions. You got me choking here. You love Sherry Moore. She said, "Oh, is that old school already?" I don't know. It might be old school. I don't know if the kids know what this is anymore. The kids don't have CD drives, and I forgot how to burn a CD, to be honest. But when you are speaking live, you got to have a backup. Now, I use the cloud for most of my backups, for like all of my backups, to be honest. The cloud is like the best thing. And when I'm talking about the cloud, I'm talking about using Dropbox, Google Drive, it's OneDrive by Microsoft. Whatever you're using, you got to have a backup of your presentation. Make sure your presentation is backed up. If you're using Canva, you can use Canva, but sometimes you may have issues if you're trying to go live from Canva, especially if some place has crappy Wi-Fi. I just talked about that in the RV, but when you go to a different place, sometimes their Wi-Fi is not up to snuff. That means what? You can't get to Canva. You can't get to your cloud. So that's why we have this little thing here, the little thumb drive. It's old school. I don't know if it is old school, but I'm going to say it's old school because the kids don't use these anymore, I don't think. I don't even think they know where to put these. But everybody has a USB drive, at least for now. I only have one USB drive on my laptop. I used to have like 4. But this is like the worst case scenario backup, is to have a thumb drive and you have a copy of your presentation, copy of your introduction, because that's the thing. A lot of people don't have introductions and they assume everybody's going to print them out, but sometimes you got to have a backup. You also need to have a backup of if you're handing out things, and especially if you're traveling and you forgot something and you need to run to like a Kinko's or something. This thing is pretty darn neat, even though they can connect to connect over Wi-Fi, but sometimes Wi-Fi just doesn't work. And that's when you start panicking. And that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to panic. So what we first want to do is back up everything to the cloud. And then your next is, your laptop. If you're taking your laptop with you, you got to do that. Now, there are a lot of events that'll tell you, send us your stuff ahead of time and we'll take care of everything. Still have your own backup, because sometimes their version of taking care of things is not the same version of you taking care of things. And you don't want to be flustered. You don't want to be upset, and you don't want to pop off on anybody. So that's why you need to have backups of the backups. Okay. And of course, if you got any questions about anything, just let me know. So make sure everything's in the cloud. That's your go-to. Also with your cell phone, I can't pick up my cell phone because I'm using it right now. Make sure you know how to hotspot your laptop to your cell phone, just in case the Wi-Fi is crappy and then you need to hotspot yourself. Also, save things onto your desktop on your laptop when you're traveling. And then if worst case scenario, your laptop breaks, I've had this situation before where I had a 4K laptop with old technology and I couldn't get my presentation to pop up. I had to go to this thing right here. When I couldn't get my presentation to pop up, that meant this place didn't have Wi-Fi, so I had to go back to this old school thing here. So when you're out there speaking, make sure you have backups. The thing is, you never want to be flustered. You never want to be stressed out. I have seen speakers lose it while they're on stage because their slides didn't work or all this other stuff. You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure you're just like, cool, we don't have Wi-Fi. I got this thing right here. Ooh. And then if you're with somebody who's like under 25, they're like, what is that? Like old school kid. Like, let me show you some magic here. I'm not around 25-year-olds, so I don't know if they know what this is, like I said. But the thing is, have your backups. Make sure you understand the technology of everything that you're doing. And the most important things you want to have on your backup are your introduction. Please have your introduction. Here's another tip when it comes to your introduction. Make sure it's like in 22 font because, you know, I used to like giggle when like older people couldn't see things. Now I'm one of those people that can't see things. So big font actually does help a lot. And phonetically spell out your name on your introduction. Make sure you have a backup of your slides. Make sure it's in PowerPoint form, JPEG form, and PDF form. We want to have all formats covered just in case something goes wrong. And the biggest thing is be prepared. That's all you got to do is be prepared. Now, that's all I have for you. Hopefully you learned something with being prepared. And I wish I could just sound like a broken record, but be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. Oh, you have no idea how many speakers I've seen who just like instant meltdown like 10 minutes before they go on stage. And it ain't cute. It ain't cute at all. So make sure you're prepared. Of course, if you got any questions around anything, all you got to do is slide into my DMs or put them in the comment box. I will make sure an answer appears. I also have some people, got to tell you on Instagram, there's a lot of people who've been sliding into the DMs and I haven't been responding to them. I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't manage my Instagram account. So I'm going to go back. If you send me a message, I'm going to go and respond to all of the messages over there because I don't get notifications over on Instagram. But I'm not ignoring people. People just message me in all the places sometimes, just all the places. So take care of yourself. I'm going to sign off on here on Instagram first. You know I appreciate you. Thank you, Crystal Harris. Thank you, Love Sherry Amore. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow because we're going to talk about why public speaking is like the worst way to make money. I know. We're going to have real talk on tomorrow on public speaking. So I will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. You all take care of yourself. I appreciate you. And of course, you know, here on YouTube, I appreciate you. If you need anything, check the comments. I'll be there. I seriously, I'll be there. And I'll tell you more about the RV. Bye.